everyone, it's Victoria Midlife Quilter, and if you are here, it is probably because you are going to be making an Up in the Clouds quilt. So I am so excited that you're going to be trying, perhaps for the first time, curves and half rectangle triangles. So this tutorial will go over from beginning to end how to make the Drunkard's Path blocks, which are the blocks that are right here. It's just that curved piece. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna use this template to cut out the shapes, and I will get closer so you can see. So just start by taking some non-fabric scissors and cutting these out. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer them. I like to use just like an old cereal box. You can use, they sell plastic templates you can use as well, but honestly this cardboard is stiff enough and it saves you money. That means you can buy more fabric later. That's a little midlife quilter tip for you. Save money where you can and then spend it on fabric. So I'll get to cutting these and show you the next step. Okay, so now we've transferred our paper pattern pieces to cardboard pieces, and now we're gonna use, I like to use a hair marker to put this on my fabric. If you have any type of heat erasable ink or anything you'd like to use instead that's particular for sewing, you can go ahead and use that. I use a hair marker just because I generally don't keep those ink pens around and I don't want to spend money on buying another one. Another tip I've seen is, you can put this on the back of your fabrics and use, a pencil. But again, anytime you're marking fabric with any type of ink or lead, you do not know if it's going to come out. So just tread carefully and understand that if you're going to use pencil, it may not come out. Okay, and so this green fabric in this video is going to be for the inner piece, which is going to make the balloon shape. And I just set that right on there. And we're gonna trace around. And because I want the balloon shapes to be mirrored, I'm gonna go this way and then I'm gonna turn this over and go this way. So it should look like the top of a heart, I think. So that way you know for sure that if you're using any type of directional fabric, it's going to stay aligned the way you want it to, okay? All right, and then I just like to use, you can use a rotary cutter if you like. Generally, a smaller rotary cutter is gonna get you better curves, so a 28mm if you have one. This is a 45, so I don't like to use it. I just like to use scissors, so I will be cutting those out in a moment. And this is my light fabric for the background, and that's what this piece is for. So this is your background piece. And again, I'm going to just make sure I trace around here with my hair marker. And every balloon needs 2 of the inner template and 2 of this outer background template. So, and I like to basically put them this way. So they kind of nest a little bit inside the fabric. And hopefully you can see the creases here. You can see that there's one going this way and then another going this way. You get that little leaf shape in the middle. All right, I'm gonna cut those out and then we're gonna show you how to pin and baste. Okay, so now I've cut out my shapes. I have one inner template, one outer template. You want to fold your little pie shape in half to get a crease. You can see there's a little crease there, and you do the same thing with your outer template background piece. This right here is gonna be the most confusing and hardest part of this, and it's not that confusing or hard. It's just a little counterintuitive. So we always put our fabrics when we're sewing right sides together. And this is the part that gets confusing, is that it doesn't feel like you're gonna be able to pin that, but you will. So I always start with one pin in the center. I'm gonna show you pinning first, but I actually prefer to use glue, and I'll show you how to do that. But for pinning, start at the center and then just start pinning around. The more pins you have, the more accurate it will be when you go to sew it. So I start at the center, move off to one side, and I'm probably gonna run out of pins. Yes, I will, but it gives you an idea of what you'd go, or what you'd be doing. So you can see the pins are right here, and you're just gonna pin all the way to the end here. Okay, so what I normally do, and it doesn't save time, it just makes those edges a little bit neater, is I take a small dab, move this over here so you can see, small dab of glue, and I just create like a little string of glue, and I try to be sure I'm as close to the edge as possible so that's not gonna gum up my needle. And you can see all those little dots of glue that I've put on. And now again, we put them right sides together, starting in the center. And I just finger cross. So let me change angles here so you can get a better view of what I'm doing. So I put a little bit of glue along the edge, and I'm gonna be starting at the center. I press down, and then I'm going to take this over to my ironing board, and we're gonna give it a press. That heat will really seal that glue up. You can see that. We're going to take it and we're going to press it. Now this one has, and now I'm going to use my ruler here to get this block trimmed down to 5 inches square. So I just like to make sure that I've got a 1/4 inch on the top, and a 1/4 inch here on the bottom. You may not need to trim that much. You can see it's pretty small, because the finished size of this block, once it's in the quilt, is gonna be 4.5 inches. And there we go, we got our first one, and you just repeat with the other side.